not only is Mike Pillow wanting to ruin your Thanksgiving, but he also has some plans for Black Friday, which means it's time for another episode of Pillow Talk.
God gave me this platform. I already know I'm going to win.
China did our vote. Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign.
Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Just forget about the evidence. This was attacked.
Mike Lindell, he's back, and he's planning to air a new 96-hour election fraud extravaganza that will run from midnight of the Wednesday before Thanksgiving through midnight on Sunday. So now, all day, your racist Republican uncle, instead of watching football, because, you know, football, the NFL's too woke now, they can tune in to see the Pillow Guy rant about non-existent voter fraud in the 2020 election with deceptively edited numbers and so-called factual information, which isn't actually factual at all, which will culminate in a lawsuit Lindell claims will be voted 9-0 by the Supreme Court to hear, and then will somehow lead to the pulling down of the election. And of course, that's what he claims. Fun. And of course, he says, we're going to show every single piece of evidence. Okay, look, you've had a year, just about, to show the evidence. Oh, I guess that what that means is that we're going to have to tune in to watch while being bombarded with My Pillow advertising, right? Well, he says, no, we're not going to run it at My Pillow advertisements, but hold on to that for a minute, okay? Now, of course, there might be one small issue with the timing. You see, America loves its consumerism. In fact, only in this country will we see people trample over each other to get $30 off on a big screen. So now the same people, ironically, that usually wait in line for hours and hours outside of Walmart are going to have to choose between watching Mike Pillow re-litigate the election over and over again or reenact the Capitol riot in order to get a discount Alexa. Yeah. Now, of course, while Lindell is dragging this entire thing out, this whole election conspiracy, the January 6th committee has actually taken an interest in Mike Lindell. So this is according to HuffPost. Lindell appears to be among the long list of Trump allies and staff of interest to January 6th committee in a section of the August 25th letter from the Select Committee to the National Archives titled Information Donald Trump received following the election regarding the election outcome and what he told the American people about the election. That's a very long title memo. Material to and from Lindell is among 7 categories of records the committee has requested. Okay, fun. From April 1st, 2020 through January 2021, all documents and communications relating to challenging the validity of the 2020 election to and from or mentioning Mike Lindell, the request reads. Interesting. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a lot of stupid documentation to read through. Lots of unhinged conspiracies, not unlike, of course, what I've been talking about and covering for quite some time, for almost last year. So Lindell talked to HuffPost, and this is funny. So he says, well, I haven't been contacted by the committee, and I could care less. Okay. Now, of the 2-page letter he delivered to Trump on January 15th, 9 days after the Capitol riot, obviously, that's among the material turned over. And he asks, what does that have to do with me? Well, it's your letter, dude. I mean, you were there, you met with Trump, and you were there supposedly to give him, quote unquote, the evidence that you won't give us, apparently. And that of course, this is supposed to be evidence that China hacked the election. Oh, it's the Chinese, right? But also handed over an envelope. He said it was given to him by 2 lawyers to give to Trump. He declined to tell HuffPost the names of those lawyers or any sort of information. None of your business. Are you out of your mind? I don't know what the letter was in the letter. It was given to me in confidence. I'd never read it. I never looked at it. Well, that's interesting. I wonder if they'll get the letter. Lindell also claims that he'll have a ton of state attorney generals attorneys general signing on to his lawsuit, but refused to name any of them because obviously, of course. He says, I'm not going to give you their names. Are you kidding? Adding that all of them would sign the lawsuit on November 23rd. Now here's the thing. So he doesn't understand how the Supreme Court works. None of them seem to understand how any of this works. You can't just go to the Supreme Court and say, I've got a lawsuit. Take it up. No, you usually have to go through a series of appeals, lower court rulings, and then eventually it gets passed to the Supreme Court. They just don't take randos. Even pillow randos, okay? Nonetheless, Lindell thinks, oh no, they're going to take it up, and they're going to, oh yeah, and then they're going to vote to cast over the election and completely redo it. Here's what he says. I really think that they're going to accept it. 9-0. It will require a new election across the board. Declare the 2020 vote void and order new elections across the board. You know what? Considering how low Joe Biden's approval rating is right now and how much a failure the Democrats have been, maybe we should. I mean, just get like a progressive in there and then have them wipe the floor with the Republican candidate. Just get a fresh start. Fresh start on this, away from this fresh hell. But of course, that's not going to happen because none of this is real. Nothing that Lindell or Trump or the Republicans have come up with when it comes to voter fraud is real at all. And by the way, what little actual fraud that we found, there's no mass voter fraud, but there has been voter fraud found. Guess what? It's Republicans. Like 99.9% of it has been done by Republicans. And I'm just saying, voter fraud as a whole, in the 2020 election, as far as I know, 100% of Republicans are the ones doing voter fraud. By the way, Glenn Youngkin's son in Virginia tried to vote. He's 17. He got turned away at the polls. So, come on. Because Donald Trump said vote 2 times. That is true. And people listened to him. And they did. All right, so he also claimed, Lindell did, that Donald Trump won Arizona by 250,000 votes. This election was stole. When HuffPost asked how the paper ballot hand recount in Georgia that confirmed Biden's win there was compatible with his computer hacking theory, Lindell grew angry and hung up. Sad baby. I think he got triggered. It might have been triggered there. So now I mentioned that he was not going to advertise during his 96-hour bullshit-a-thon. Maybe, but he actually might be up to something else. Now, Lindell has a social media site, Frank Speech, right? I don't know who Frank is. I don't know why he's got speech. I don't know why Lindell and Frank or whatever, what they're doing, okay? But a Frank Speech. So now he launched this site to showcase his Cyber Fail Symposium. But in the following weeks and months, something interesting has been noted. And he's actually used the cell phone numbers he collected from those who signed up to advertise pillows, sheets, towels, slippers, and other sleep-related items. In fact, one text message last week, for example, told recipients to watch Lindell being interviewed on his webcast that evening and then finished with, standard My Pillows, $69.98, sale $19.98, mypillow.com, whatever. He's collecting the phone numbers, probably email addresses, whatever he can in order to sell people pillows. Because of course he is. On the one hand, he's filling people full of lies and then taking advantage of those people by selling overly expensive garbage pillows. It's a grift fit for Trump. I'm actually kind of impressed by this. I didn't think Lindell had it in him. But no, turns out he's actually, pretty good at cashing in on morons. And so here's the conservative hierarchy, right? So on the conservative hierarchy, you got smart people at the top. This is the business class in the Republican sphere. These are the people who know there's peddling and selling bullshit. and taking advantage of dumber people. And so on the top, you got the grifters that are screwing over people who are slightly dumber. And then those people screw over people who are more dumb. And then more dumb. And it goes on until the people at the bottom getting screwed over the most because they're the most stupid. I pretty much described this as the Republican pyramid scheme. That's it. That's a scheme. That's what's going on here in a nutshell. Now, Lindell is obviously probably third tier dumb, maybe third or fourth tier. You know what? I'm going to have to get into this. I'm going to have to create a whole tier of stupid to show this pyramid. But again, back to Lindell and his timing. Well, good luck with not only trying to compete with Thanksgiving, the real war on Thanksgiving, but also trying to compete with the biggest chud shopping holiday of the year. I make it a point to not really ever get involved in shopping on Black Friday. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's consumerism, like celebrated consumerism, and people are trampling each other and getting hurt and killed over this. I think it's unnecessary and ridiculous. So go ahead and have fun with that. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and share with your friends. You can subscribe and help out the channel by becoming a patron. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf, or you can become a channel member as well by hitting the join button below.